Bib, AT-AT Commander, and Kevin are ready to play a party game, so they brought with them today Win, Lose, or Draw for the Nintendo Entertainment System with just a screenshot from the popular late 80s TV show. Okay, let's go ahead and take Win, Lose, or Draw, pop it in my NES, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Win, Lose, or Draw was published by High Tech Expressions and carries a copyright year of 1989. It was based on the game show from the late 80s that featured a set based on Burt Reynolds' living room. Win, Lose, or Draw is a Pictionary-style game for 1 to 6 players. The back of the box lies, promising all the challenge and action of the real TV show and more. When you start the game, you can select if you want a man or woman team for Team 1, the same option for Team 2, or you could choose no Team 2 for a single player game, the difficulty level from easy, normal, or difficult, whether you want the computer or the players to draw, or if you want to practice drawing, and if you want to use a puzzle code, which when in use is supposed to make sure you don't get a repeated puzzle when playing from the selection of over 500 puzzles in the game. On the easy level, you have 60 seconds to guess a single word answer, and there are dashes that show you how many letters are in the word. For normal difficulty, you still have 60 seconds and dashes for letters, but now the answers contain multiple words. The hardest difficulty has multiple word answers, but no dashes are shown and the timer is reduced to 40 seconds. When you want to guess a word, you simply use the D-pad to highlight a letter and the A button to choose that letter. Once you have finished spelling your word, you can submit it by pressing the B button. If it is wrong, the word is erased and 5 points are deducted from the potential puzzle points. For the harder 2 levels, you are allowed to guess one word of a multiple word phrase at a time. I also found that when I was playing on the hardest setting, when I guessed the more complex words in the phrase, common words like a or the were automatically filled in for me. Once you solve a puzzle correctly, you get the puzzle points plus bonus points for the time remaining on the timer. At the end of the game, you enter a speed round where you have a limited amount of time to solve as many simple puzzles as possible. When drawing, if you choose to do so, you move a cursor around the screen. Pressing A once places your pen on the paper and pressing it again lifts it up. Pressing B erases everything on the paper. This style makes drawing straight lines pretty easy, but drawing any kind of a curve is a difficult task. Having a player draw is designed for a game with multiple people on a team. The drawer uses the first controller to draw and the guesser uses the second controller to guess. For the drawer, they get a clue by pressing the B button while their teammate looks away. Yes, this game uses an honor system, which I found doesn't always work when you're playing with other gamers. Graphically speaking, the game is not very impressive at all. Most of the drawings have a poor etch-a-sketch quality to them, and the characters look like they were based on drawings by an elementary school child. Yet I will say that I found them oddly charming. And while the music was repetitive, I kinda liked it too. And naturally, this is a family-friendly game, unless one of you sickos decide to draw something that you shouldn't. At the time I researched on eBay, loose copies were going for $4 to $6, complete copies were going for $8 to $14, and new copies were going for $23 to $29 a piece. And there was also one case of 6 new copies that sold for $200, and all those prices include shipping. So what did I think of Win, Lose, or Draw? It's really not that great. I enjoyed the cheesy characters at times, but more so in a they're so bad they're kinda good kind of way. But the game just doesn't translate well to the NES. Sometimes the computer's drawings are really hard to figure out, especially when you're trying to figure out a particular word. Okay, is that a globe or world or earth? I'm not sure what you're trying to get at there. And naturally you can't yell out answers, but instead you have to slowly type on a keyboard that doesn't even let you wrap around the board from one side to another. And you miss out from watching the body language of the drawer and getting help from teammates when playing alone. And drawing with the NES controller is just too difficult to do quickly as well in a multiplayer game. But since I didn't have anyone to play with, how about you and I play a couple rounds? Round 1, can you guess what this is? Did you guess it? It's the Atari Fuji symbol. Round 2, can you guess what this is? Did you guess it? It's a baseball. Round 3, can you guess what this is? Did you get it? It's a fish. And finally, round 4, can you guess what this is? Did you guess it? Who said sandcastle? It's an apple, silly. Well, that's the game. And guess what? You unlocked the ranking for today's game. Good job, pat yourself on the back. So where am I going to rank win, lose, or draw? Pretty low. I'd rather guess a few more pictures than go another round in Urbane Champion at 41, but I would rather blast some more baddies in Saycross at 40. So out of the 43 games I've now ranked on the NES, win, lose, or draw is doodling into the 41 position. Personally, I recommend either playing Anticipation on the NES or buying a Pictionary board game instead. So what do you think of win, lose, or draw on the NES? Whether you agree or disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Also, feel free to click the like and subscribe buttons. And if you'd like to support the show, you can do so at Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/NoSwearGamer for more information. You can also follow me both on the Facebook or the Twitter, and I'm a member of the Retro Junkies Network. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, everybody.